Hey guys, it's Corey again. Today I'm going to go over the interface to the Go High Level calendar, very similar to what Air uses, if not the exact same interface. And what we're going to do is we're going to get a list of the valid appointments in a particular date range. We're going to use the API to get that. So we're going to have a calendar set up over here in Go High Level. And I'm just going to pick this one, book a call with me. That has this particular calendar ID, so that's where we're going to grab that thing. And I will put it, I'm just going to nuke that. So we're going to get the calendar ID here. And then we have to get an authorization token. This thing's going to cover that screen up, so I will... Let's see, look at the business profile. If you scroll down here, there is generate a key right here inside the business profile settings, the setting business profile. So I'm going to, this is just a sample account. So I'm generating a key. Once I generate that key, I will, there's the copy. I'm going to copy the key down here so that we can save it for later. There's our key. All good to go. Those are the two things that we need out of Go High Level. We needed to know which calendar and which key to, get the API key. So you typically want to keep these secret, but since I'm using a kind of a temporary account, I can roll that later so that we don't have any security issues, but yeah. All right, so I've collected the calendar ID and I've collected the API key. This will be necessary. So I'm going to jump in here and take a look. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is looking at the high level API, and I'll put this link down in the notes. I'll just copy it right now so that I've got it. We'll put that one in the notes. And this talks about two different APIs. There's the public API and then the high level API 2.0. That guy requires this OAUTH. And I'm not that familiar with it, but I did kind of go through a little bit of its implementation. Two things. This particular API, which is now called API 2.0 for clarity, is only for agency level accounts and higher. It offers more things than the other one does, but it requires a registration, and you have to go to the registration page and create an account, create some things there that are going to get you a different authorization code, and I think it requires 2 after this. So for these API calls, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be this API key and a new one that comes out of this OAuth account, or basically an account. And that thing, you have to tell it which pieces of the interface you're going to use. Some more detail. So it's kind of locked down. It's got more security around it. It makes it so that someone can't just, get one access and then access everything. So anyway, we are not going to be talking about this one. We are going to be talking about API 1.0. So digging into that, there were two different here's the 2.0. It took me a little while to figure out that this was 2.0, but it starts out with OAuth 2.0 right there. I just didn't read that earlier. When you look at this, the overview, to get started, you go here to these authorization steps. So I'll put the link for the 2.0 in here also and just label it that way. So what will we call that? OA. So two different versions of the documentation, and this is API 1.0 on that. So this guy requires quite a bit in the authorization steps, but I think there's some more things. There's quite a bit here in this documentation. So if you need some of these other functions and features, it's going to be some more work. I'll guarantee you that. All right, so looking at the commands or the functions available in the 1.0 public API, you see that up here. The public API documentation, I think that's correct. Yeah, well, we'll capture this. We'll capture this documentation too, and put that there. I'll just call it Spotlight. I think looks like a spotlight, but it isn't really. All right. Yeah, API 1.0. Okay. To utilize this, to do what we're trying to do here, which is to get appointment slots. So I want to. Oh, that's actually the get post. Yeah, get appointments, and then I want to get open slots. Okay, so I want to get appointment slots, available appointment slots. So we will just make sure we're looking at the right thing here. Okay, so I'm going to do this on a new account. So it's the first time I'm doing this, and this folder is using bearer token from collection. This. Interesting. So I'm just using the bearer token from the API key right here for the bearer token. So it wants a calendar ID, required fields right here to get the slots. Calendar ID, which is a string, and it's going to be this guy. It's going to look just like this calendar ID right here. I know it's a little hard to read because of let me see if I can turn off ignore the spelling on that and ignore spelling there. Okay, so I'll zoom in a little bit. So it's cap CLQ LL, etc., etc. And so that will go right there. And then the Epoch timestamp, that is the number of seconds, comes from Unix. It's as I recall anyway, it comes from Unix. So I have got this Unix timestamp converter here, and I will capture that down here too, so that we've got documentation. So this is one that I found, which was pretty good. So we'll go into why we need that, but that's this tool right here will be what we use to convert these numbers. So let me grab one of these. I'll grab this number and show you what we're talking about here. So I just grabbed that number and I'm going to stick it into here. So this is this number 1548898 blah 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 blah. All right. So we're going to stick it in there and we're going to see what it tells us about it. So I'm going to say convert, and it's going to come up down here what the time is. So this was Thursday, January 31st, 2019 at 1:36 and 40 seconds GMT plus 000. So it's actually done in GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. So this one is in milliseconds, and you will see that we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 3, 6, 9, 12, 13 characters there, which is saying instead of counting seconds, it's going to count milliseconds. So we will, we're looking for just some time slots between, and I already kind of clocked it in here. I'm gonna convert May 5th or May 6th I don't care about this time. I'll just do zeros here. We don't need to have it super clean, but I'll just say May 6th, so 2024 at midnight exactly. So we'll start there. Convert that. That's this number. But you'll note that this number is only 3, 6, 9, 10 digits long. This one's 13. So we're going to need to add some more zeros to convert it into a millisecond version of this epoch time. This guy's only running 3, 6, 12, 9, 10. So this is in seconds. So the milliseconds are going to be three more digits. And that's what this thing's asking for. So we're just going to tack some zeros onto the end of this. So we'll get this loaded in for our time. This will be our start time that we want to use. So we'll do start time. And put that in. Add on the 3 zeros. And we'll make a note even here what this is. So this is May, and this is US format. Sorry guys in Europe. Not sure I totally agree with it, but this is how it works. Whoops. And we will just call it GMT because it is Greenwich Mean Time. So we've converted that. The start time is in epoch time at this date time, GMT, plus 0. And let's go down. And I think that'll work. We're just getting some numbers here, but just know that that's what you're dealing with is GMT. And you can pick here. Yeah, since I'm Mountain, it is -6. So let's see, Monday, May. Yeah, that's not a very good reference like that. Anyhow, so we'll do end time. So I'm collecting all my data up front here, and we want the end time to be, I don't know, 5, 7, 20, 2024, and yeah, got it. So let's just go for one 24-hour period and see what we get back. And these things, this one may have, because I haven't limited its availability, it may return a big list. Anyhow, so we'll go to converting this time, which is 5/7/2024, GMT 0, midnight, GMT plus 0. So we'll just click this up to 7 and convert. There's our number right down there. We will take that number, put it here, and we're going to tack on those 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3, because this thing wants it in milliseconds. All right. So where's our happy command? So we've collected our data. We have the calendar ID here. Make sure there are no spaces. This thing is very touchy to spaces. It does not just ignore white space. And it may ignore it in some places, but not others. It's very, it's kind of finicky, this command. All right, so we've converted. We'll get rid of that. We've got all of our data pieces here. We have the calendar ID, the key, API key, the start time in epoch time in milliseconds, the end time epoch time in milliseconds, and then these are our notes. All right, different little tools that we're using throughout. All right, I am going to go here. I'm working on the V1 appointment slots, and we're just going to mess around with this thing a little bit. When you land here, it starts out looking just like this. I did sign up for a Postman account, but we're not going to use it. Maybe I'll go over that another time. So here we are. This is what it looks like. It's HTTPS, so curl is going to run this REST API gohighlevel.com version 1 appointments. That's the same as up here. Slots ? calendar ID, we're going to fill that in. Start date, start time, it kind of runs off the screen here. So because it's running off the screen, I'm going to wrap the lines so that we can capture it, we can get it with these breaks where it looks like it may ignore some of the white space, but you have to be really careful because you'll get malformed curl or URL in this. So here we go. Let's copy it. And we'll work on that command right here. So all I've done is copied the prototype, the function prototype here, and then we're going to fill in all the little pieces. This is an example of the return. So here we go. I think that, let's make it a little bit bigger. All right. So what I'm going to do is, this is all good. This calendar event needs to be replaced. So we're just going to nuke it and then get this calendar event up here and put it in there. Calendar ID. Make sure you do not have any extra spaces. It gets very unhappy about those. So I'm going to test this by hitting delete right here and see if it deletes that equal sign or just a space. And it was just a space. So wow, yeah, you don't want that. You want to have it, you want to make sure that's good and clean right there. That will save you a lot of time. So here's what they have in the prototype for the start time. So I'm going to copy this start time and I'm going to paste it right there. I'm going to test again for that extra space, and it was there. I have no idea where these things are coming from. Outer space. So because I'm double clicking this end time to highlight it, just it, C, Command C, and now caps lock is on, and now I'm going to do end date right here and put that in there. Now you would do this all programmatically. You would not be sitting here cutting and pasting. I'm just showing you the work. There's the space again. Keep in mind those spaces, that white space is not ignored in this command. And I'm setting it, I'm being playing a little fast and loose with this. I'm saying America, Chihuahua. I think that might be the mountain time zone, not positive. And user ID, I'm just going to take that out. Just a little artistic license here because I believe user ID is allowed in the query. So I'm going to nuke it. It's allowed, not required. And okay, making sure. Now this is where we will put this bearer token. This guy is really the API key, and we're just going to paste it right in there. And then I'm going to make sure I don't have any extra white spaces. Testing again, and there we have it. So this is just so long it's wrapping down here. And make sure your editor is in text mode, so you're going to be Unicode UTF-8. I think it's probably the best. Let me see here. GHL, I'll call it appointments slots. API. Well, just name it that. Call it good. Okay. So we've got the calendar ID, got the bearer token / API key here, and then start time converted into milliseconds, and the end time converted into milliseconds. We've filled out the command. So this is the very first time I've run this for this particular calendar. I did a little testing before making the video. So let's see what we get here. I'll bring in my trusty command line. There it is, and let's drop this in there and then see what happens when we hit return. And we got the empty set back. So this is actually the return right there, and it returned nothing. There were no options. So I'm not entirely sure why that is. Okay, I'm back here looking at the calendars, and we chose this one, book a call with me, 30-minute, active. It's been around since March 26th. So we're going to create a group, and I think this is why it didn't work. So let's try it. We'll create a group, and the group name is my book a call. All right. And we'll just, I don't know what that is. We'll just call it test group, book a call group, and that way we can, group name, book a call. So that's the name of the group, and so it's already taken. Okay, I'll do what you do when you're creating your Yahoo email. All right, so book a call 22 is the name of it. And we are going to go back to this calendar right here and move it to a group right there. And no group, book a call group. Please note legacy link will stop working once you proceed with the change, selecting the checkbox. So let's see if it changes the calendar ID. And CL, okay, it looks about the same. Okay. If there's a difference in the middle, I may not capture that. So book a call group, it's part of that group now. So we're going to go back and let's rerun Mr. Command Line. Still coming up empty. Okay, so I found what was causing it to come back with a null set, and it has to do with the fact that we're not looking into the future, and Go High Level knows that, so it won't give you any dates and calendar availabilities in the past. So I bumped the date up here from, I think it was the 7th before, or whatever it was, the 8th. Make sure your calendar is picking a date in the future. Go High Level cares when you go to ask for it. So we're going to convert that number. We will take it. Took a little bit messing around with it, but I'll take that, paste it right here, and that will be, yeah, that's the same thing without the 3 zeros to convert to milliseconds. So let's convert to milliseconds, and we'll nuke that old one. We will change this to 5.9. I may have, well, I think I probably had it originally at 9, but did it wrong. So then we'll get that guy put in here and test again for the space. Space went in there. Terrible thing to happen. End date. Yep. I messed that up just now, so I want that end date to be that, and then the start date is this one. Again, it's putting in a 0 every time I edit that thing, or a space every time I edit that thing, so I don't know why. I did a little testing with another calendar. Let's make sure we get the right one here. This is the calendar ID. Make sure that's in there, and let's look for that space. Yep, there it is. Okay, so important safety note on the space, and we are now ready to put in our brand new command line parameter, or command line. I don't know where it went. No, there it is. All right, so we're going to, in my testing, I actually created a new calendar up here, outbound reach. And then I put this into a call, and I can't remember if this is required or not. So we'll take one that's not in a call and look at it in just a second. So we'll start, in a group. Let's check one in a group right now, and we are good to go. Making sure these numbers are what I expect them to be. Yep. Okay. So we're going to get back a whole bunch of calendar events that span over a day or two. So look at that big list. If we take that list, we can kind of break it out. So yeah, that's cool. We got a list. Let's break it out here and just take a look. So we got a whole bunch of dates and times. Let's take a look, see what we've got here. We'll just put them per line, or per, one date per. And I know I used to run an editor that would do something like this for you automatically. We don't have to do all of these things, but what's being communicated here. Yeah, these are all slots too. I'm just going to mess it up a little bit just so that we can, mess up its formatting a little. And I'm taking out the commas. So what we're looking at here is, this is saying on the 8th at 8 a.m. and this is GMT -6. So it's really saying it's 8 a.m., but that's being represented in Mountain Time. And then we've got one at 8:30 Mountain Time, one at 9, 9:30, 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30, etc., etc., etc. So you can just see this is going to go on all day, half-hour slots per. It's a big array of the availabilities for that particular calendar, and it's putting them all in GMT -6. So it's adjusting that and it's tagging that and transferring it along. So 2024 5/8, and then the time. I guess the T must be for time, and then 1400, 1430. And these are all being reported in Mountain Time. So if you went down this whole list, which a computer loves to do, would be super, super fast. This is just looking at what's available on the 8th of May, which is almost, we're after midnight. So anyhow, that is it. So it's kind of a long video, but I think we demonstrated it. So let's go back really quick and test. Does Go High Level require it to be in a call group in order to get back calendar events? So I've got another calendar here that should be brand new. It's clear. We will go back quickly into here, and what we're going to do is swap out this calendar ID right here for this one. So let's just switch that one in. I just copied that one. I hit the little copy button there, and I'm going to go here and paste it. There it is. We just pasted it in. I've got a new curl. I'm just going to copy it, and we're going to go to the, see if I can pick it out here. There it is. Paste that in and run it. See what we get. Nope. It doesn't look like it has to be in a group. It looks like it will return it even though it's not in a group. Let me verify this. It doesn't give you the information in the return which calendar you're looking at here. So let's look. There's a calendar ID, 3WHD, and then it ends in MHQ, CapQ. 3WHD ends in MHCapQ. So I just checked this one and I was able to get it back. So it doesn't need to be in a group. It does not look like it needs to be in a group for it to work. Oops. Trying to find my command line again, which I think I hid back here. Yeah, I got to stick it out to the side a little bit or it won't be in the window appropriately. Okay. So yeah, I think previously we thought that at least that Go High Level required it to be in a group. Now, I don't know about, if Air does or not, and I'm not sure exactly what Air uses for the date and time range to look at. So it's got to be figuring out, like it's going out a couple of days or something along those lines. So that's something that, maybe for a future video to figure out, but we need to make sure, for sure, they require it. They require the epic time in milliseconds. They require the dates to be in the future. At least the end date needs to be in the future. So if you're picking up before and after, you've got to report at least any calendar events that are in the future, because it knows enough to limit you on that. We can do one more just for funsies. Let's switch out and copy this calendar and see if we get it with that same calendar. So let's see here. Boy, that is hard to read. No, that's not going to work. So we will go back and go to here. Stuff in the new calendar event ID, or the calendar ID right there. Copy this whole command so that we get, yep, and it worked with that one just fine too. So we now know that you do not have to, from a go high level perspective, we don't have to do the, we do not have to have it in a group. It does return, it returns dates even if it's not in a group. So, I think that's about it. I hope this is helpful, and I'll put these links down here in the description, and we'll call it a night.